We can work on getting you a booster seat if we need to, Senator Yates. I think we have enough members, so I'll let the Secretary please call the roll.
Senator Rocky Adams, Senator Douglas, Senator Howell, Senator Neal, Senator Schickel, Senator Smith, Senator Storm, Senator Turner, Senator Yates, Vice Chair Girdler, Chairman Carpenter.
Here. Look like we have enough to do business, so we're ready to get started. Just a few house cleaning orders to get started with. Since this is our first committee meeting, we're trying to keep our tradition of not meeting unless we have some legislation to address. But we have some new members today. I know some of them probably aren't here right now, but Senator Neal is a new member. Senator Turner is a new member. Senator, good to have you, and also Senator Yates. So appreciate you guys being on this committee. You have to vie hard to get on this committee. This is one everybody wants to be on. So I think the only other issue I want to talk about is just there's also the Kentucky insurance industry has a reception tonight for everybody on the banking insurance committee. It's always a good group and good food, and it's there's a little meet and greet at 6. And dinner starts at 7, and it's out the Foundry, so everybody's invited to that. One other group I'd like to introduce, I had opportunity to speak to them today, is the Community Bankers Association is here today. Got a chance to sit down and talk to those folks, and as a former banker, can relate. So we had lots of issues and good conversation. I'd like for the body to make that group feel welcomed real quick. So I guess we're ready to get started. Senator Girdler, I believe you have the bill, and looks like you've got all your friends with you. No, okay. He's bringing them up now. Senator Girdler, I'll let you introduce yourself for the record and any of your guests, and we look forward to your testimony.
All right. Thank you, Chairman Carpenter, and thank you for allowing me to be able to present a bill to you. Senator Yates, he wasn't hurt in a car wreck, so don't be handing him cards. All right. This bill that we are presenting today has been through. This is the third time around, so maybe the third time's a charm. It's a bill about subscriptions, and last year it passed the House like 75 votes to whatever was left, 14, 19. 75 to 12, and not voting was 13. So it's been through. And last year, the ladies, Representative Westrom, she presented last year to Economic Development and Tourism, and it passed there. Then I think some things happened, and we got down to the end, and it never got through. All it basically is when you buy a subscription, or when you buy, I go to the post office, or I go to my mailbox, and my wife's got 2 magazines of the same kind. I don't know, maybe she takes her twice to read them. I don't know. Anyway, and we can't get it stopped. So now we got a way of getting rid of some of the subscriptions that you are challenged with. And my son explained it to me this morning. What it was, he's about like Senator Yates. He's young and smart. They call it the data industry calls it something like where they go to die, and you never check it again. It just keeps coming back on you. And one of the things I need to point out to the bankers and the insurance people, there's exemptions to this. Bankers, the banking products and your insurance products are exempted. So it just gives us a clear, defined way of canceling a subscription and gives us an easier way. Tom Keeper is going to explain a little bit of it, and we'll answer any questions after he gets through.
Sounds good, Tom.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. My name is Tom Keepers. Finders Keepers, just like it sounds.
Yeah.
I'm the Executive Director of the Service Contract Industry Council. I want to thank you for the opportunity to comment on behalf of our members specifically, but also on behalf of a group of regulated entities generally. I'm here today in support of SB 30 because we're seeing similar subscription auto renewal legislation popping up across the country recently. Automatic renewal is when a paid subscription contract renews automatically at the end of its term without action taken by the consumer. In some cases, that will continue indefinitely unless some kind of cancellation action is taken. Senator Girdler mentioned magazines are an example. You might see Flower of the Month. Many of us use streaming services, might be lawn care, pest control, home deliveries, things of that nature. Why are we suddenly seeing a surge in these consumer protection bills? That's because we've seen such a technological shift in our lifetimes. Today, we no longer get calls, or I remember making calls on a rotary phone. We don't get the bulk of our mail from the postal service anymore. And I can't remember the last time I wrote a check. I think it might have been for one of my daughter's birthdays or something of that nature. Instead, we do, today it's really most of our communications are through text, through email, they're through the internet, and rarely are we signing up for things using traditional snail mail or in person. Today, we tend to pay most bills electronically as well, through EFT or through automatic credit card charges, with consumers choosing the convenience and protection offered by ensuring no breaks in service when we're able to do that. However, some actors have exploited these automatic renewal products and provisions. Either they're hiding the terms in the contracts or they're making it really difficult, in Senator Girdler's example, to cancel the product outright. States have understandably responded by enacting legislation that requires conspicuous disclosure of automatic renewal provisions as well as easy-to-use cancellation mechanisms. So recognizing the need to protect consumers in this area, this bill prevents unregulated entities from engaging in bad automatic renewal practices by requiring that the offers are clearly and conspicuously presented, requiring affirmative consent by consumers to the automatic renewal offer, outlining the cancellation requirements in a way that can be retained by the consumer, as well as if you make the offer online, it needs to be cancelable online, and requiring a business to provide the consumer a toll-free telephone number, electronic email address, a postal address, or some other easy-to-use mechanism to cancel the service. The legislation exempts businesses that are already regulated entities that have consumer protections in place to the benefit of consumers, such as utilities, insurers, service contracts, and lenders. Bad actors have exploited an important consumer convenience to the detriment of everyone. This bill has been filed, as mentioned, for 3 years in a row. Now is the time to restore consumer confidence by ensuring valuable automatic renewals are not disrupted and potential abuses by unregulated entities are prevented. Thank you for the opportunity to comment, and open to taking questions.
Senator Yates, I believe, has a question or comment.
Well, first of all, thank you both for bringing this forward. This is when I came in as a freshman. I hit the ground running. This passed, I think it was unanimous through committee before. I used to be, when I was Assistant Attorney General, we did consumer protection litigation. And we saw a lot of families get hurt even back then over this. And it's gotten worse and worse with the apps. Sometimes they'll get you to sign up online, pop up, our kids could do it, think they're doing $1 a month, I okay it, all of a sudden it's $12, and I can't cancel it because I got to call a number that nobody answers, and this one's on and on. One of the issues, though, in having had that background in protection is the Attorney General doesn't have the manpower or power to come through on all these small things. What we do is we find a large impact over a lot of people onto it. So what had helped is the private right of action to be able to come in, because you would get, let's say it's my little girl, I send over and say, hey, failure to cancel this prescription will create I think we had last year, it was a $500 fine for doing violation of this. That passed our committee last year because we wanted to make sure consumers are actually protected. And I think maybe it was an oversight or it was messed up, but this year we have left out the teeth. So last year we put into it, and it was simple. It was any person or entity that violates, it was a section of this act, shall be fined not more than $5,000 for each offense. And they thought that was excessive. So we said $500 for each offense. At least it gives something for them to do it, because if the Attorney General is the only person that can act, and the only thing they can do is get restitution. So if you have a flower shop that you signed up for, and you said, I sent my wife beautiful flowers, it was $29, I thought I got a great deal. All of a sudden they start hitting me every month for $49, $69, I can't cancel it. Well, if the AG's office comes in and says, we're putting an end to this because we had at least you got the threshold, you hit enough people that we brought to the attention. This statute only allows for restitution, so you get that money back. There's no penalty. There's nothing to keep them from trying to continue to do this. The penalty is what puts the teeth and protects consumers. Everybody, we understand how that works. Last time, everybody was agreement to it, and I noticed it wasn't in there. In fact, it literally said, which having been assistant AG on there, it literally says there shall be no private right of action for violation of it, which means all your consumers at home are without recourse unless the Attorney General takes it up. So what I would just suggest, I think this is great that we're in the step in the right direction. We're going to protect our consumers, but let's follow through and protect our consumers. And so we wouldn't want to remove their right of action, because that should be the right. If they've been harmed, they should have a right of action. You don't want to take that away from them. And the other part, if we just add in the fine or penalty, even if it's $500, there's got to be some kind of penalty. Otherwise, you're right, you got me, here's your money back. Let's do it again. We got to have something there. So I want to make sure that this passes, because the reason I think it died is because Westrom wasn't willing just to say I won. She wanted to actually win for consumers. And so I know that we're all in there for the right reasons. We want to protect consumers. But if we remove the section that takes away the private right of action, and we add in that there shall be a fine, and even if it's $500, there's got to be some kind of penalty, I think this will be a great piece of legislation.
It would be a friendly amendment on my part. I would put it that way. Yeah. So, if it passes here favorably, gets on the floor, and you want to file a friendly amendment, I'm not against it.
Senator, I think you've been a great champion for people, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Senator Schickel. Have a motion on the bill and a second. If there are no other further questions, Senator Girdler, it sounds like you all can work that issue out and address it at a little later time and date here. So I'll ask the Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Rocky Adams. Senator Douglas.
Aye.
Senator Girdler.
Aye.
Senator Howell. Senator Neal. Senator Schickel. Senator Smith. Senator Storm. Senator Turner. Senator Yates. Chairman Carpenter.
Aye. The bill does pass with favorable expression, so we'll be ready to take that to the floor, and you guys can work out your all's issues at that time. Are there any other questions or comments that need to come before the committee at this time?